Okay, what's going on, everyone? My name is John Hasselbauer. I go by PGA Tout on Twitter. And in this video, we'll be going through bets for the 2023 Sentry Tournament of Champions. A quick plug before we get into it. I do want to call out the Lions Discord channel, which you can access by going to thelines.com and clicking on the icon on the top right corner. There's already over 4,000 community members talking sports every day. That's every sport from golf, which I'm primarily in there for, but also industry leaders in college basketball and always info on NFL, any other topical sports. So definitely encourage you guys to jump in there. It's free, and I post all of my bets in there throughout the week as I place them. So definitely a great place to stay active with the community and keep up to date with everything that I am betting when it comes to golf. So then kicking it straight off into the Sentry Tournament of Champions, you can find my article preview on thelines.com with every detail you need to know. But in this video, we're just going to go to the need to know facts, the biggest things you need to know if you don't want to spend your time combing through my article and you just want to get straight to the betting board. This is what you need to know. The Plantation course at Kapalua is one of the longest courses on the PGA Tour. Each season, it is a little deceptively long because there's a lot of undulations, a lot of runouts on what can be firm and fast fairways if there's rain. It's slow like there were last year, but we are expecting dry conditions, so should see some really long driving distance this week. It does kind of level the playing field, but distance is always an advantage here. Second thing you need to know about Kapalua, big correlation with the Masters, with the exception of Harris English, who won 2 years ago. Every winner of the Sentry Tournament of Champions over the last 10 years has either been a Masters champion themselves or finished top 5 in the Masters previously. So that is a huge trend and one that we don't normally see. That's significant at other courses. Now, obviously, Kapalua is not a major, or the Sentry Tournament of Champions is not a major. This is not a difficult course. This is not a grind by any means. From a scoring standpoint, they're actually on opposite sides of the spectrum, with Kapalua being one of the easiest courses and Augusta National being one of the most difficult that we see on the tour each year. But for whatever reason, whether it's the massive fairways on both, the undulations, the need for creative shot making, there is a huge correlation, whether it be Patrick Reed, Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Dustin Johnson, Zach Johnson, just the list goes on of players who have good overlap. So one thing that I really look for this week is proven performance at the Masters, because that really translates here. The last thing that I'm really looking for this week that I don't think is being talked about as much, but it's the proven history at this event. And I don't want to say course history, because it's not so much about the course, but to me, the first event of the year, the first week in January, there's really no golf being played in December besides a couple hit and giggles here or there. You don't really know where everybody's game's at. You don't know if people are here to shake off the rust, enjoy a nice resort retreat. If they're trying something new with their swing, which we're already seeing with Tony Finau. If they're trying new equipment, which it seems like is the case with people like Patrick Cantlay. There's a lot of mystery here. So if you're somebody who's able to hop into new conditions and adjust to the time zone change, and you're not toying around with different equipment and you're here to win, that's important here. So I'm looking at people who repeatedly, year over year, regardless of circumstance or form leading in, they just play very well here. So with all of that intro, as we look ahead to the odds board for this week, odds are now out as we would expect in a field of 39. There is not a ton of value. So this is going to be a week where I'm putting together a very tight outright card. If you've been following along, you know I have a pretty structured outright process each week. I put a total of 3 units in. Each outright pays out 24 units, so a little 8-to-1 ratio, hit one outright every 2 months, and we're at break even. So that structure is no different here. It's Tuesday. I've already filled out my card because it is a quick one. So the 2 players I wanted to center my outright card around are Xander Schauffele first and foremost at 12-1. I ran a model, which you can see more info on in my tournament preview. He was number one. He's won here in 2019. He has great Masters history, and he just has that all-around game that whether we're getting super heavy winds or calm conditions. I think we'll get a mix of both over 4 days. He has the game that can kind of handle that. And he really turned a corner last year. He had 3 wins, including the Zurich Classic, but also the Travelers and the Scottish Open. So, he can kind of get it done in a couple of different conditions, and he's always been well versed in these no-cut events. So that's a little bit more of a narrative, but it seems to keep working out for him. So I love Xander this week. And the second guy is Sung Jae Im. He was the one who I profiled in my Spotlight Player of the Week. Had a great season last year. You wouldn't really know it just by looking at the wins. He picked up one in the fall swing at the Shriners, I believe, last year. A bunch of runners up down the stretch, but another guy, great Augusta comp performances, has played this event twice, has finished top 10 in both times, and just kind of has that game that is going to translate no matter where he goes, especially on Bermuda greens, which we have this week. So Xander and Sung Jae are my 2 outright bets this week. Haven't quite finished the prop bets and first round leaders. We'll get to that probably later tonight. So definitely look out in the Lines Discord channel, as we talked about at the top, just as I put in my prop bets, you will see it in there. And then, of course, you can see my final bets in the article that goes out every Wednesday morning. So that's going to do it for Sentry Tournament of Champions. Thank you guys for listening along or watching along wherever you're consuming this content. And best of luck with your golf bets. I'll talk to you later.